In 12 months from now, if your app can't talk to AI agents, no one is going to use it. MCP servers and agent skills are becoming really popular for a very good reason. People are using their AI assistants or platforms like ChatGPT and Claude to interact with software on their behalf. And that is why all these large companies like Google and Microsoft and all your favorite software are racing to get MCP servers out ASAP. How's it? I'm Leon, and today we're building an agent-ready app from scratch. What makes an app agent-ready? This diagram might seem very complex, but it's actually not. All we're trying to demonstrate here is that previously people would interact with your software using your website or, the user interface. But these days, things are very different. We have to make our app accessible to things like coding agents like Claude Code, OpenCode, Codex, and, Cursor. We also have to make the app available to web or chat agents like ChatGPT or Claude.ai. These are the platforms that a lot of end users use. Our app also needs to be accessible by framework agents, and for this you can simply think about something like OpenClaw or Hermes Agent. We can do this by exposing all of the features in our app to agents via things like agent skills, local MCP servers, or of course remote MCP servers, which is what we'll build in this video. This diagram is from my Agentic Coding Masterclass. Then this video will build a lightweight version of this, but if you do want to learn to build an app with auth, payment integration, everything, then I'll link to the masterclass in the description. Every piece of software at the minute seems to have an MCP server or an agent skill. From Notion to GitHub to Stitch to Google services, pretty much any piece of software you use these days will have some kind of integration with AI agents. But what is MCP? Well, the Model Context Protocol was created by Anthropic as a standard for connecting AI agents to tools exposed by different platforms. For example, let's assume we build a piece of software that can generate images. We can expose a tool to agents so that agents can generate images on the user's behalf, and the way that the agent connects to our platform is via the Model Context Protocol. Right, so let's create a blank project, and I'm going to pull up the terminal and run the command create next app at latest. This will download and install Next.js into our project folder. Next, let's install a few skills that our agent can use to build this app for us. To install these skills, simply go to skills.sh and then search for the skill that you want. For example, let's search for the front-end design skill from Anthropic, copy this command, then back in your terminal, simply run that command, select Claude Code and project, symlink, and proceed with installation. Right, cool. I've gone ahead and installed a few skills actually. Since we're using Next.js, I've installed Next Best Practices. We're also using Better Auth Best Practices for our authentication system. We've installed the front-end design skill just to create a better looking UI. For the database, we'll be using Postgres. And since we'll be building an MCP server, I also set up the MCP Builder skill. So what we can do now is open up Claude Code or whatever coding agent you want to use. Then in Claude, I'll just run the skills command just to make sure that those skills are all available. Wonderful. Now let's switch over to planning mode and tell Claude what we're trying to build. Right, so let's do this. In the resource folder, we can pull in this diagram, and this is that architectural diagram that I showed you earlier. And I do want to mention that you can download all of this for free. I'll leave a link to this GitHub repository in the description of the video. All I ask you is if this is helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more agentic coding videos. Then to save on time, we can also simply copy this app planning prompt. We're simply describing this AI prompt library app that we're planning to build, along with some of the details around the tech stack. The reason we're pulling in the architectural diagram is this will give our agent very clear guidance on how we want to structure our application and what our vision for this app could be. So I'll simply paste in that prompt and send this. Right, the plan is ready. So at this point, I like to scan the plan just to see if everything is fine. So our MCP server will expose a save prompt and search prompt tools. So what I like to do at this point is instead of saying yes and bypass permissions, I'm going to press escape. Then let's go into change mode. Then I'll create a new folder in the root of the project called plans. And let's ask the agent, please save the plan in the plans folder. I personally like to store these plans because I can always refer back to it in the future. Now that the plan is saved, we can actually clear the conversation to free up the context window. Now let's pull in our plan If you're using anything except Claude Code, what you can do now is simply say something like, please implement this plan. However, if you are following along with Claude Code, we're going to do it slightly different. Run the goal command, then let's pull in this plan. Please go ahead and implement this entire plan. Do not skip anything. Alright, that's cool. So let's actually fire this off. So it's going to take Claude quite some time to build this app. This is actually a massive ask. So while this is running, let's set up our database in the meantime. We'll need a database to store our user records and of course store the actual prompts. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I really like Postgres databases. Postgres databases have been used in production systems since forever, and I really like the Neon databases. In fact, if we go to pricing, we can actually create our very first database for free. So I don't know about you, but I do like free. So I'm just going to sign up. Then I'll just set my organization name. This is a personal project. I don't have to invite any team members. For the project, let's call this, I don't know, AI prompt MCP. We do not have to enable Neon Auth. Let's simply create this project. All right, so that was really quick. Our database was created in like 400 milliseconds. And they do give you this piece of code that you can run. And this will install the Neon MCP Server and skills, which we will not be using in this video. In fact, on this screen, we're just going to click on Go to Project. Now, what's really cool about these Neon databases is they give you access to different branches. So at this stage, we only have a main or production branch. And ideally, we need to split production from our development sandbox. So what we can do is go to Branches. Let's create a new branch. And for this one, let's just call this Development. Then let's create this branch. And that gives us this connection string. So let's simply copy this snippet. And by the way, Claude is actually asking us for this connection string right now because it can't migrate the tables over to a database because we don't have a database yet. So I'm just going to hide Claude for a second. And if you use my prompt to follow along, Claude automatically created this .env.example file for you. So let's simply copy this. Then let's rename this to .env. Now for the database URL, let's replace all of this with the URL that we just copied. Then let's go back to Claude Code, and in this instance, I'll just select already in .env file. Right, let's send this. Right, Claude is saying the .env is ready and moving on. Right, Claude is done and it took about 14 minutes, which is not that bad. This actually does not look too bad. Let's try to create an account, and it seems like the account was actually created. Very cool. I do want to show you that if we go to the Neon database, we can switch to our development branch, click on tables, and here we can see all the tables available in our app. If we go to users, we can see the user that I just created. We also have a table that will store all of our prompts and a separate table for all the API keys. So let's try to create an API key. Let's just call this development test. Then I'll just store this key somewhere safe. So you might be wondering what this API key is actually for. In order for an agent to interact with our application, it needs to first authenticate itself with this API key. This API key will tell us who the user is, and that way we can deduct credits or bill them or whatever else. Let's try to add a prompt manually. I'll just call this Plan an Agent Ready app. Then what I'll do is actually copy the prompt from our actual project and paste it into the body. And for the tags, I'll just create coding. Let's save this prompt. Nice, and our prompt was indeed saved. So the question is, how do we actually set up this MCP server? I'm going to let the agent write documentation on the homepage showing us how to use it. Awesome, so Claude just added this section to the homepage. This makes it really convenient for developers or vibe coders to copy this configuration and add it to their coding agent or whatever agent they're using. But before we do that, let me show you the correct way to test MCP servers before adding it to agents. Open up a new terminal window and run this command npx add model context protocol /inspector. That will open up this URL, which is already pointing to our MCP server's endpoint. For the transport type, definitely select streamable HTTP. Under authentication, what we have to do is replace all of the stuff after bearer, so I'm just going to delete all of that, with the actual API key. Then let's click on connect, and we are connected. So that means we were able to authenticate ourselves using that API key. Let's list all of the available tools. And here we can see we've got two tools available, Save Prompt and Search Prompts. This is exactly what we specified during the planning phase. We can even test it. So let's try to save a new prompt. So let's call this one something like code check. Please run lint type check and the build command. Let's run this tool. And apparently the prompt was saved successfully using our MCP server. And if I go back to my account, we can see the code check prompt there as well. Awesome. We can also try the search tool. So let's do something like code check. Let's run the tool and just return the code check prompt. Awesome. Now for the fun part. Let's actually hook up our MCP server to our agent. Because I'm using Claude Code, I'm actually going to add our tool to Claude Code itself. I'm going to exit out of the session entirely. Then in the root of our project, let's create our mcp.json file. And now we just have to figure out what this configuration actually looks like. Thankfully, Claude was kind enough to give us the snippet. So let's just add that over here. And of course, let's replace this key over here with our actual API key. So let's just start Claude again. Then let's see if we've got access to that key. And you know what? We are missing one field. Just above URL, we just have to add the field type, which is HTTP. And there we go. The prompt library MCP server is now available. So let's try it. Please can you search for a prompt in the library for checking code quality? And that's exactly what I wanted. So we've got this prompt over here, which is just perfect. We can do some really cool and complex stuff as well. Let's actually go back to our very first conversation, which was massive. So let's pause something like this. I would like to store the prompt that we used in this conversation in the library. So can you have a look at the initial prompt along with all the additions and create a new prompt in the library? Our agent is actually calling the MCP server. And there we go. The prompt was indeed added. How useful is that? So usually people would have to log into the web app manually, but now we can expose this to any agent. If you're using OpenClaw or any other agent, this will work as well. MCP servers are globally understood. All of these agents know what to do. Now that the MCP server and app is working locally, let's move it to production. All I'm going to do is create a commit for all of this. So I'll just call this initial project. I'll create a commit. Let's push the branch. I'll make this a public repository. So if you guys want, you can use the repository, copy it, fork it, do whatever you want to do. Then from Vercel, I'm just going to create a new project. Let's import the repo that we just created. Under the environment variables, let's simply copy all of these and paste them in here. We do have to change this database URL though. We have to provide the connection string to our production instance of this database. So let's change the branch from development to production. So back in Neon, go to your dashboard, click on connection string. Then for the branch, select production. Then let's copy this connection string. Then in the database URL, paste in that new string. And now for the better auth URL, we don't yet know what the actual app's URL is going to be. Vercel will generate that in a second. So just leave it like that for now and click on deploy. So under the production branch, if I go to tables, I can already see all of those tables are now in production. Of course, we don't have any users or any data yet, so the tables are empty. Beautiful, our app was just deployed. So what we can do is go to our dashboard. Then just scroll down slightly to this domain section, so this one over here. So this is our app running on a public-facing URL. So what we have to do is copy that URL, then on the left-hand side, go to environment variables, go to better auth URL, go to edit, and then paste in the actual URL. Cool, I'm going to save this. Let's click on redeploy. So we just have to redeploy in order for these changes to take effect. But the most important thing is, let's see if we can actually create an account now. Perfect, we're in. Let's create a new API key. I'll just call this one production. Let's generate the key. Then I'll just copy this key. And what I'm going to do immediately is replace this local key with the actual key. And then I'll replace our local URL to our production URL. And now for the moment of truth. I'm actually going to exit out of Claude. So that way the new MCP server configuration will take effect. And in fact, I'll just kind of grab this file. And let's just say, please can you store this prompt in the library? Right, saved. And let's refresh our app. And there we go, there's our prompt. Creating agent-ready apps is really this simple. And you can easily add MCP servers to your existing apps using this exact same flow. I would like to thank Neon for sponsoring this video. Please use the link in the description to tell Neon that I sent you. Thank you for watching. Now go build something lekker.